All right,
I
sorry,
guess
sorry.
what virtual kids?
So equations make lines. They represent lines. This is for my virtual kids. They make and represent lines. We know that we can create graphs based off equations. Colin told us that slope-intercept form is going to be y equals mx plus b. Mx plus b, we know slope is m. And you guys just told us that what represents b?
Where's that line crosses the axis?
Yeah, we call
Did
that
that out either.
Y is your intercept.
the y-intercept. So guys, that's the part that maybe we need just a little bit of a refresher on. So now, everybody go and you get to use your artistic ability here. Give me a coordinate plane.
Oh, my goodness.
Kind of like what I drew right there.
4/7.
No, we're just kind of creating it right now.
We're
Oh,
drawing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Doing it.
Now we will here in a second. Now, Hunter, help us out, man. We said that, well, we're just reading a definition here. A y-intercept is whenever our line crosses which axis?
The, where the point is, Y-axis.
Yeah, so do you guys want to have a line that's going downhill or uphill?
Uphill.
I like that. Let's be positive. So here we go. Here's our line. By the way, which axis is our x and which one's our y? That's another question.
Well, the one go like this is the X, the other one's the Y.
Ooh, we got that backwards.
I kind of just winged it.
Mary Beth, would this horizontal one be our x-axis? And then this one will be our y. Okay. Now, Colin, do you notice how does our line cross the y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Where do you guys want to say this line's crossing the y-axis at?
No, make it 3.
Sure, we'll say 3. It's hitting at 3. Now, how would you guys represent that coordinate?
It's positive.
Well, but what would the coordinate look like? We know the y is going to be
0 to
close. It'd be 0 for x,
yeah.
and y will be 3. Now, Mary Beth, if you're on the y-axis, will x always be 0? Yes, I'll repeat that. Mary Beth, if we're on the y-axis, will x always be 0?
Yeah.
Yes. So guys, Caden, the y-intercept will always be when x is 0. That's your y. So we've got the y-intercept there, and like Lorena said, whenever you represent your y-intercept, it would be, somebody give me a slope. We'll say m is, sure, 5. And then we'll call b, do you guys want to use the one we found down here?
69.
We'll say 3. The one that we have here. So what would our equation look like if you had your m and your b? We'll have y equals.
That stuff gives me claustrophobia.
It's called spherical.
Huh? Oh, that's possible.
So what will go first, guys? mx plus b. We'll have.
Rather go 5 plus 3
Oh, now don't forget what's with 5.
with the X.
X. That's how you can always tell you have a slope. It's right next to an x.
Is there-
Plus 3.
So will there always be an X there?
No. And we'll talk about that a little bit later today. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because sometimes whenever you have a line like this, or I'm sorry, a line like this,
Oh,
x is
yeah,
gone.
then
It's just y equals a number.
That's 0.
So we'll talk about that in a second. So guys, that's kind of what we're looking at here. How do you feel about that?
I feel fine with it, really.
So yeah, you guys have probably all seen this before. We know that when we cross the y-axis, your y-intercept's always got to have an x of 0.
You know what you should do, Mr. Harris? Oh, yeah.
Let's go through, guys. I'm going to give you the next couple minutes. Look over our 3 kinds of lines here. We've got oblique, which is a fun word to say, vertical, and horizontal. And we're going to talk about the differences between these 3 types of lines. Go ahead and draw a picture of each of these if you want to, and then you'll read over it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll talk about it here in a couple minutes.
Yes, sir.
I love your class.
So let's go. Let's good. I'm glad, man. So Ken, would you kind of give me some examples of some oblique lines, maybe like what they would look like?
Wait, what?
What kind of slopes do oblique lines have?
I don't.
Well, it says it.
Lines that have a positive or negative.
Okay, so what kind of you can kind of show me with a positive or negative? Yeah, kind of like that. Oh, so in other words, what's another word we could use for oblique?
Negative.
Diagonal. Thank you, Mr. Ethan.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are really just diagonal lines. By the way, you know this slope-intercept form you guys gave me up here? Wouldn't that be a diagonal line?
Yep.
What's its slope going to be? Mary Beth, would its slope be positive 5? Oh, and so isn't that that's a positive? So yeah, an example of an equation would be the one we did up there. So guys, make sure you write that down for me. Y equals 5x plus 3. That will be an equation that gives us a positive slope. This is going to what Colin was asking earlier. Will there be some examples where x does not exist inside of an equation? There's going to be some times where x doesn't exist, and there's going to be some times where y doesn't exist. If you have a vertical line, what does that look like, Mary Beth? Straight up or horizontal? Straight up? Does anybody, this will be a mint question, does anybody know what the equation of a vertical line actually looks like?
It's undefined.
Well, but that's the slope. What its equation? Yeah. Colin.
Zero,
Wait,
what's a
is it
line
like-
curve?
Y equals,
No,
is it without an X, without a
What's the
Y?
question?
It's like y equals
Excuse me, ma'am.
Now, if you do y equals a number, that actually isn't a just a second, I'll tell you. If we do y equals a number, that's not a vertical line.
X equals,
That would be a
What's the question?
horizontal
so it'd
line.
be like
X
x,
equals a
it'll
number.
be like.
So the question, Hunter, was what kind of equation will give you a vertical line? It won't be y equals a number, Colin. It'll be
X equals a number.
yeah. Anytime, guys, you have just x equals a number. Anytime you have x equals a number, you got a vertical line. You guys know why?
There you go. Wasn't good anyway.
Does anybody know why that is? What do we know about a vertical line? Do we ever go left or right?
Peppermint smack.
So, Lorena, will the x always be the same on this line? Yeah, check it out. Mary Beth, you could have 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. You see how the x is never going to change? Whatever the x is, Ethan, that's going to be what that number is. Like for this example over here, Colin, you see how x is always 1?
So that means it's going.
X equals 1 would be the equation that gives us that.
Oh,
How about with y equals a number?
Everybody, 'cause you won that man.
Hunter, what are you thinking, man, as far as a horizontal line? Does it go up or down at all?
It goes straight.
It goes flat? So what do we know about the points?
Oh,
So-
the Y's are going to be equal.
Will the y's, Hunter, always be the same?
Yeah.
2, 3, 3, 3,
May I have a donor answer?
4, 3. Check it out. The y's will never change because we're never going up, we're never going down. So y equals 3
Please.
will be an example of what we just did here. Well, I'm going to pause for a second. What are some, what'd you get for 1, 2, and 3?
Oh, I got it. Well, it was -2,
Yep,
and B was 3.
B was 7, right?
Why'd I put 3?
I don't know. That's okay. How about number 2? Slope is,
I got, M was 6,
yep,
and then B was 11,
okay. How about number 3?
then M was -7, and then B was -8.
Nice. Nice job, man. How about number 4, 5, and 6?
Right here, right here, right here.
Now, Colin, give me number 4 and 6, and we're gonna circle back to 5.
4 and 6 is negative 2.5 at M.
Easy, what the heck?
Then you got 3.2 at B, and then you got the daggone 1 over 4 at X at M, and then you got negative 2 over 7 at B.
Now, guys, why do you think I wanted to pause for a second on number 5?
Because there's only one
Wait, Mr.
number.
Harris, really quick, can you give me an answer about number 5, right?
Yeah, but while I'm double checking, guys, yes. Now, here's the thing. Isn't it normally supposed to be y equals mx plus b?
Yes, it is.
Why would the x be gone? What's the only kind of number that you could multiply to x that would make it disappear?
0.
0. So y equals 0x. Check it out. This is what it really was, Mary Beth. Y equals 0x minus 9.
Oh,
And if your slope is 0, well, this whole term disappears. And you'll just be left with y equals -9. So our slope is 0. Also,
Hey, way to take up for the home.
what do we know too? If it's, remember, Devin, if it's just y equals a number, what kind of line is that?
Horizontal.
And what do we know the slope of a horizontal line always is? 0. So if you recognize that, you know you got a slope of 0 anyway.
You know, there was a bus driver at Plasky that lied on a kid and
Go with
then.
that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are, I think, a little bit easier. I may have somebody who hasn't just helped me out, maybe help me out now. I know Colin and Deb just did that. Lorena, what'd you get for number 1?
Y equals negative 5x minus 6.
Minus 6? Nice. So that'd be a downhill slope. How about number 2? Go ahead, Lorena.
Oh, okay. 0.4x.
I can't see your dang hat on.
Oh, wait, I just did number 3.
You're good. 0.4x minus 9. Okay, how about number 2?
That's 1x minus 4.
By the way, Colin, what kind of line would number 2 be? Is that a positive slope or a negative slope?
Negative. Positive.
So that'd be a line that looks like that. Caden, how about number 3? Would number 3 be an uphill slope or a downhill slope if it's a 0.4? Yep. No, it's very slight, isn't
That's
it?
a little slow.
It's very slight uphill.
Roger knows something about that.
How about number 4? This one's kind of weird. Mary Beth, what do you see about number 4?
Says, okay.
So it'd be y equals 0x plus 3. What's a better way to write that, though?
Why?
Y equals,
You got this right there.
Yo, Devin.
Yeah,
oh, no, the x is gone.
Second grade.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
What do we know? Hunter, what do we know about y equals a number? What kind of line is that going to make?
A number line. Right?
It's going to make a horizontal line because we know the slope's 0. So y equals a
We're
number.
supposed to be helping the virtual
Y
kids,
equals 3.
not telling the correct answer.
So, guys, now that we've had a chance to do part 1 of day 3, it ends here. I'm going to give you a chance to jump in to Delta. So we're going to be working on Delta Math, and we're going to hopefully be doing the first 3 sections. So let's go and be working on those right now, guys. Thank you very much.
Bar.